In a bustling town by the river, there lived a young man named Raghav. He was known for his sharp mind, but also for his tendency to overthink every situation. Whether it was a decision at work or how to speak to someone he liked, Raghav would spend hours turning the possibilities over and over in his mind. This constant cycle of thoughts left him exhausted, and despite his best efforts, he often found himself making no decisions at all. One evening, after another long day of overanalyzing his life, Raghav felt he could no longer bear the weight of his thoughts. Desperate for clarity, he remembered hearing of a Buddhist monk who resided in a small temple on the edge of the forest. The monk was said to possess great wisdom and had a reputation for helping those in turmoil. Without hesitation, Raghav set out on a journey to seek answers. After a few hours of walking, Raghav arrived at the temple, nestled in the tranquil forest. The monk was sitting in peaceful meditation, surrounded by the soft sounds of nature. Raghav, feeling nervous but hopeful, approached him and spoke. "Master, I am consumed by my thoughts. I overthink everything in my life, and it is leading me nowhere. I can't seem to find peace. How can I stop this endless cycle?" The monk opened his eyes slowly and smiled warmly. "Come, sit with me," he said, gesturing to a spot beside him. "Let us walk together on the path of understanding." Raghav sat down beside the monk, his mind still racing with worry. The monk said nothing for a long time, only sitting quietly, breathing deeply and calmly. Eventually he spoke again. "Do you see that tree in the distance?" He pointed to a tall tree standing at the edge of the forest, its branches swaying gently in the breeze. Raghav nodded, still unsure of what the monk was trying to say. Imagine that tree had to decide which direction its branches should grow. Should it grow this way, or that way, or perhaps in circles? What would happen to the tree if it spent all its time thinking about the best direction to grow? Raghav thought for a moment, his mind slowing down as he pictured the tree. "It wouldn't grow at all," he said quietly. "Exactly," the monk replied. "The tree does not overthink. It grows naturally, with the flow of the seasons. It trusts that its roots and its environment will guide it. The same is true for us. Overthinking is like a tree that can't decide which way to grow. It becomes stuck, paralyzed by doubt. The more we think, the less we act, and that leads to failure." Raghav felt a wave of realization wash over him. For so long, he had believed that thinking more would help him make the best decisions. But now he understood. Overthinking only kept him from moving forward. The monk continued. "The mind, like the tree, must trust itself. When you allow your thoughts to settle, you will find the clarity you need to act. The key is not to seek perfection in every choice, but to act with wisdom, even if the outcome is uncertain." Raghav closed his eyes for a moment, feeling the weight of his thoughts lighten. He had been looking for certainty and control, but now he saw that peace came from accepting the flow of life. He didn't need to predict every possibility or control every outcome. He simply needed to trust the process. After a long silence, Raghav stood up, his heart lighter. "Thank you, Master," he said with gratitude. "I understand now. I will stop overthinking and trust myself more." The monk smiled and nodded. "Remember, like the tree, you are always growing. Don't let your mind hold you back." Raghav left the temple that day with a sense of calm he had never known before. As he walked back to his life, he began to practice the art of letting go, allowing his thoughts to come and go without clinging to them. And in doing so, he found the peace and success he had long sought, not in endless analysis, but in quiet action and trust in the unfolding of life.